Hello everyone, I hope everyone's doing well on this bank holiday build-up, say for the bank holiday weekend. I'm here, it's strap yourselves in guys, this is going to be quite a long video I believe. What I'm going to be taking you through today is all the fixtures on Good Friday in the National League and Bank Holiday Monday as well and Easter Monday. So strap yourselves in. This is going to be a long one. So we're going to get started right away, I believe. And we're going to get started with the very first game on Good Friday, which is Altrincham up against Halifax. Now, Halifax are in the top 3 in the table. They really are chasing, actually, to finish in the top 2. Without doubt, though, I think they're probably going to. They're definitely in the playoffs, in my opinion. Halifax. It would take an absolute disaster job from here for them not to make the playoffs, and realistically, not make the top 5 minimum. They're on 73 points right now, a point behind Charging Wrexham, as I'll call them. They're playing Altrincham. Altrincham are in 15th place, comfortably mid-table, good little outfit. I've got a good little soft spot for Altrincham, but they're a good little outfit. When we went there early in the season, the staff and all the fans there made us very, very welcome. The only trouble you've got for Altrincham right now is they're not actually playing for anything. So you have to wonder, are they going to be on their holidays? Their recent form, though, would state no, because they've actually won, believe it or not, they've won 4 of their last 5 games, which I think is very impressive for a team that really are, like I said, not really playing for anything per se. But, it's going to be difficult for Halifax going to Altrincham as well, because it's a difficult place to go and get a result. Could it be a banana skin? I believe so. Halifax, though, are absolutely flying. Out of the last 5 games, they've won 2 of the last 3, drawing the other one. 2 defeats prior to that. Halifax, probably the one of, if not the surprise package of the season so far. They're not fluking this. There's no way over 37 games you can say they're fluked where they are. They're not fluking where they are. They're there because they are a good side. They're a good, strong side. I do believe they're going to get past Altrincham. Altrincham will give them a few good tests, I'm sure, over the pitch. But I am going to go for a tight Halifax win. I'm going to go for Halifax 2, Altrincham 1. We'll turn that score the other way around. So it's actually Altrincham 1, Halifax 2. Set in the right area. There we go. But I do fancy Halifax to just narrowly get past Altrincham. But it's going to be a difficult trip for them. And these games, when you get the top of the table teams against the lower end, bottom end, to be honest with you, it's the bottom end teams that you have to be careful of. So I wouldn't be surprised if some results, even if I don't predict them that way, go the other way. Here's a prime example. The second game is Bournemouth up against Dover Athletic. Bournemouth are woeful right now. They are absolutely woeful. Anthony Gallard has basically pretty much come out and bashed his team after last weekend's defeat. Kind of embarrassed by them, really, on how severely they've dropped off. No winning 9 games, But it's also showing the FA Cup run they did have. When they made the 5th round and they lost out to Everton, they haven't won since then. They haven't really scored since then. They've scored one goal in 9 games, which in this league, because this league is so competitive, you can't do that. people would say, well, you know, they can get back to winning ways against Dover. I do expect them to, but again, it's a game that if they're not mentally there, Dover could get something or squeak it. Another problem for Bournemouth is they are the worst goal scorers in the top 10 of the entire division. In fact, some are even closer than worse than some mid-table sides. They just can't put the ball in the back of the net. They can keep them out. I mean, they've only conceded 27 goals this season. That has to be applauded. But they just cannot seem to put the ball in the back of the net. Only 41 times. Thinking, hey, that's not bad, 41 in 35. But when you've only scored 1 in 9, it's a bit like, you know, it's quite worrying, really, for Bournemouth. I do fancy him getting a win over Dover, but I want to say don't let Dover's league position fool you. Even the goal difference, you'd say, well, they're minus 55. A lot of the games they've played, they've not been battered. You know, they've been competitive in a lot of their games, and I expect it to be none other than that. But I do fancy Bournemouth to break their duck at the weekend. I know people are saying, well, that's easy, isn't it? It's easy to say that they're going to break their duck. But I don't think it'll be easy. I'm actually going to go for Bournemouth to beat Dover by 2-0. I don't expect it to be a gimme, but it also wouldn't surprise me if Dover got something. But I'm going Bournemouth 2, Dover 0. Next we have Dagenham Redbridge against Barnet. Dagenham are pulling themselves back into playoff contention. Obviously being 4 points off of the playoff places. And obviously winning last week as well helped them. That was the win over Bournemouth. Sorry, that was a win over Bromley. I apologise. But you know, they're pushing. You know, they obviously need to get a little bit of a run going, a winning run going, to really say that they are going to do it. But they're in with a shout, and they're against the team again, Barnet, mid-table. They're not really going anywhere. They have lost 3 of their last 5, so they're not in the best of form. Only 1 win in that time. Barnet are, again, it's one of those, are they in the kind of position where they're just on holiday? They know they're safe. They know they're not going to challenge top half. So it's kind of, are they going to just sort of, you know, down tools? I don't think so, but I do fancy Dagenham to win this one, and I'm actually going to say quite comfortably. I'm going to say Dagenham Redbridge 3, Barnet 0 for that. Watch me get these so wrong, it's unreal. Eastleigh up against Bromley is the next one. Now Eastleigh, again, they're 19th, but they are safe. They're 11 points from Kings Lynn. I think it's going to be very, very hard, especially with Kings Lynn's games left. It's going to be very, very hard for them to catch Eastleigh. So I think Eastleigh are just about fine. But I think that, you know, Bromley, again, they started the season so well, and now they're down in 11th place. No, they're not out of playoff contention, but they are 9 points off of it. But they've had a similar run to Bournemouth, actually. They just can't buy a win right now. And they are going to a very difficult place in the Silver Lake Stadium for Eastleigh. Would it surprise me if Eastleigh sprung a result? No, so much so I'm going to go for Eastleigh to get a result here. I'm going to go for Eastleigh 2, Bromley 1, because I think to go to Eastleigh, you really need to be on a good run of form. They're going to feel like this game against Bromley is one they can win. Can they? Of course they can. Can Bromley? Of course they can. But Bromley's form, and I've noticed with Bromley, they've been struggling to score lately. And I don't know exactly what's happened to Michael Cheek, but he's not really been scoring goals for Bromley, or not as regularly as expected. And that's what can happen when you get so reliant on one player. And I think Bromley have been, so reliant on one player. But, Bromley, they can easily fire away and go again. But at the minute, they just cannot get a run of form going. So I am going for an Eastleigh win here, a 2-1 Eastleigh win against Bromley. Next, one of the biggest games, strangely enough, wasn't picked for TV, but one of the biggest games that was for the weekend. It's playoff chasing Grimsby Town, my boys, up against the Hatters of Stockport County. Now, this is a tough one. I think everyone is expecting Stockport to win it, and I can understand why, because they won 20 out of the last 21. I mean, it's ridiculous. They haven't lost since December the 11th when they lost at Torquay. I mean, that is absolutely insane. They haven't lost in the league in 5 months. That's insanity. At any level, that is insanity. They are, without a doubt, the best team in the league. In regards to consistency, they won 5-0 on BT last weekend against Southend. They wiped the floor with Southend, to be completely honest. A couple of friends of mine we were chatting back and forth, going, this could be a stern test for Stockport, especially with Wrexham winning the way that they are. But all Stockport have got to do is keep on winning. And we'll have to see. Obviously, Grimsby Town got, on paper, a disappointing draw against Weymouth at the weekend. But I was sat there listening and I thought, how in the world have Grimsby not won this? And I'm going to more or less give the credit to Weymouth more than the fact Grimsby, they couldn't finish. 0-0 though, another clean sheet for the Mariners. This is a hard one for me because I'm actually going to go my head with these predictions, not my heart. I'm actually going to be fair. I am going to go for a draw here between Stockport and Grimsby, only because our home form has been good this year. Grimsby's home form has been good. They have to put their game on to Stockport to really make it difficult. Obviously, Dave Chandler coming back to Grimsby for the first time as a manager. He has played at BP with Stockport, and there was a bad incident a few years ago, but we won't go into that, not in this video anyway. I am going to go for a 1-1 draw between Stockport and Grimsby. Like I said, I'm going more in my head than my heart. I don't see Grimsby beating Stockport. Away from home at the minute, I wouldn't fancy anybody against Stockport. But at home, I think Grimsby can squeak a point. So I'm going to go 1-1. Watch me be very, very wrong either one way or the other. Next, we're going to go on to Maidenhead United against Weymouth. Now, Weymouth may be a bit buoyed after that draw last weekend home to Grimsby. But they are up against Maidenhead, who just keep surprising people. in a different scenario to Halifax. They are comfortably mid-table, bottom end mid-table, on 16th with 42 points, against Weymouth, who are still technically fighting for their lives. I don't see it personally happening. I do think they will drop in the next couple of weeks, probably the next couple of games even. But that draw could give them a pointless. I do fancy Maidenhead for a narrow win here against Weymouth. I'm going to go 1-0 Maidenhead. I don't see it being easy, but I'm going to go 1-0 for Maidenhead United. Next up on Good Friday, Notts County host Kings Lynn. Now, Notts County, I've been licking their wounds all week by the sounds of it, losing 5-1 at Torquay. Now, nobody saw that coming, I don't think. And I know a lot of Notts County fans did not see that coming against Torquay. Did the fans get a bit complacent? Did the players get a bit complacent because of the running Notts County have got over the next 7 games? And thought, well, if we can just get something against Torquay, it's fantastic. To be honest with you, they did not turn up, and the local media and fans admit that the players did not turn up. They host Kings Lynn, who are the only team really that have got a real fighting chance of staying up, really. I don't see Weymouth being that, but I do see Kings Lynn being a team that will fight to stay up. And it is not going to be as easy as people think. I mean, Kings Lynn, for a team at the bottom, they're unbeaten in 4 league games. That's 2 wins and 2 draws. Could they go to Meadow Lane and get something? Of course they can. They came to Bundle Park early in the season and got a 0-0 draw. Again, whenever you play these teams lower down, I think you've got to get the first goal against them, as Grimsby showed last week against Weymouth. You need to get that first goal. The longer you go without scoring that goal, I think the more confidence and the more self-belief goes into these smaller sides. I don't know which way to go with this one, really. I think Notts County are going to want to, put a few goals past Kings Lynn. I'm going to go for a Notts win, but I'm not going to go comfortably because I think Kings Lynn will give them a game. I'm gonna probably be, quite fortunate towards Notts County, I think. I'm going to say 3-1 to Notts County. But I say 3-1 if they score early on. I think the longer it goes, if Kings Lynn can stay in the game, Notts County fans will start to get frustrated. And anybody in the top end, if you're playing a team at the bottom, you start to get frustrated because a lot of teams automatically think they've got the right to beat these teams. You have to earn the right to beat them. And but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Notts County over Kings Lynn, but I don't believe it's going to be straightforward. Would it surprise me if Kings Lynn got a point or got something? Absolutely not, is my honest answer to that. But I am going to go for a win for Notts County because they're going to want to put some wrongs right from last weekend. Next game we have is Southend up against Wealdstone. This is you'd call these technically a dead rubber because neither side's really playing for anything. Southend, though, coming off that 5-0 drubbing at Leaders Stockport, against Leaders Stockport. Wealdstone, again, a team that can spring a surprise when you don't expect it. I'm actually going to go for Wilson to nick this. I'm going to say 2-0 to Wealdstone. I think Southend are just plateauing right now. And I fancy Wealdstone with the win there. Like I said, 2-0 against Southend. Next we have Woking. And they are going to be playing Torquay. Now, Torquay, with that 5-1 win over Notts County, have kind of reignited their playoff push. And they do have one. I think it is a long shot. But again, they've won 4 out of their last 5. Going to Torquay is not easy at all, you know. And they're probably the one team that you would say late push. Possibly. So I'm going to basically go... I fancy Torquay to win at Woking, although Woking have done okay since Darren Salzman in charge. It is a difficult one. I don't think it's going to be a gimme this at all. I am going to go for a Torquay win, but I'm going to go 2-1 for Torquay. Narrowly over Woking. We'll have to wait and see. One of the other big games, this is a penultimate game on Good Friday, one that will be televised, is Wrexham up against Solihull Moors. Now, Wrexham are absolutely flying. Realistically, I think, they are the only team that can catch Stockport County, but to be honest with you, Wrexham would probably love Grimsby to get a draw against Stockport Good Friday due to it would help them probably close the gap. But playing 4th place Solihull, who believe it or not could go level on points with Wrexham if they were to win. And actually the exact record over the last 5 games is pretty much exactly the same. 4 wins and a draw. So really, it's anybody's, this game. They could go level on points with Wrexham, and then would you say Solihull have a chance of winning the league still? Wrexham are in a kind of position where they can't really afford to drop any points to catch Stockport. And that's why I do fancy Stockport to win the league this year. Because Wrexham have got to make up 8 points before they even can think about doing that. So I'm going to basically say this is a difficult one. Very difficult because Solihull are not going to roll over. They're not just going to give... and they are one of those teams that can defend really, really well. Do you know what? I'm actually going to go for a draw here between Wrexham and Solihull. I'm going to go for Wrexham 2, Solihull 2. It's a tough one because obviously everyone's going to go, going to the race course. You'd expect Wrexham to get the win. But I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as that. Unless they can literally blow Solihull out the park, then who knows. But I'm going to say 2-2 in that. But if you can't be there, it will be on BT. I think that kicks off about 2:30 and the game starts at 3 p.m. And the final game on Good Friday is Yeovil Town up against Aldershot. Aldershot are going to feel like they need a result. And they do, and Yeovil's not the easiest place to go and get one. So, Aldershot, though, with that win that really surprised everybody. Did not expect it, but they got it against Bournemouth last time out. Like I said, Bournemouth are collapsing. Aldershot will. They're obviously favourites to get out of this, especially having 2 games in hand on Kings Lynn. I don't see them doing it at Yeovil though. Yeovil unbeaten in the last 5, 3 wins and 2 draws. I fancy him to win this one fairly comfortably. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win for Yeovil over Aldershot. That ends Good Friday. Do down below, let me know what you think will be your scores for Good Friday. And now we're going to quickly go on to Bank Holiday Monday, another 4 round of fixtures, except Notts County. Notts County do not play Easter Monday, strangely enough. I'm quite surprised about that. Everyone else but Notts County have their free week. So every other team we mentioned on Easter Monday, but just not Notts County. So really, their game against Kings Lynn could be very, very important for them in regards to where they are going into the last 6 games that they'll have. So we now move on to Monday, and these are my results. My predictions for Monday, as well as Good Friday. Leave your predictions for Monday down below as well, and let me know what you think. First, we'll start with Weymouth against Yeovil. Very hard to predict. They kick off at 1 p.m. for this. Weymouth at home. They are a tough team at home. They're going to make it difficult. I'm going to go for a draw here. I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Weymouth and Yeovil. Watch me be very, very wrong, but I'm going to go for 1-1 between Yeovil and Weymouth. Again, that'll probably near enough be Weymouth probably relegated, or at least very, very close towards the trap door. Next, we've got Aldershot. They'll be hosting Dagenham and Redbridge. Obviously, all depending on what happens on Good Friday. But I think I fancy Dagenham and Redbridge to go to Aldershot and get a 2-0 win, I'm going to say, ready for that. I think Dagenham have got too much going forward for Aldershot, and I think they'll just do enough. Barnet play Southend. Again, it's one of these games that Barnet could turn it on and beat Southend. Southend could beat Barnet. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Southend win, though. I fancy Southend to get a result here. And consolidate a nice solid mid-table. Obviously, the next game out of that is Bromley up against Maidenhead. Now, Maidenhead are the ones that can get the result when you don't expect them to. Bromley aren't going to be the easiest to try and beat. But I'm going to say they're going to spring a surprise there. And I think they're going to win 2-1 at Bromley. Bromley need the result Good Friday, I think, to really say they're going to go and beat Maidenhead on Easter Monday. But we'll have to wait and see. Dover will next play Woking on Easter Monday. I'm going to go for a crazy result. I'm going to go for no, I'm not. I was going to go for a Dover win. I'm not going to go for a Dover win. I'm going to go for a Woking win. 2-0 over Dover. Sorry, Dover. I do feel for you fans down there. But I'm going to go for a Woking 2-0 win against Dover Athletic. Then we have Kings Lynn. They host Grimsby. Now, these games are the games that are, like I've said, you're playing top half against bottom. Kings Lynn are going to feel like they've still got survival hopes. Again, it'll be down to as well whether they can get anything at Meadow Lane on Good Friday. Grimsby are in a lose-lose situation here, really. Same as Notts County, really, on Good Friday. They're in a lose-lose situation. Because if they win 3-4-0, people would say, well, they should win 3-4-0. Again, it's going to come down to that first goal. I am going to say Grimsby to get it. I'm only saying 2-0 though. But it wouldn't surprise me if Kings Lynn got a goal, even got something. I mean, they were difficult at Blundell Park earlier in the season. But that is a difficult game for Grimsby, and these games always are. When you're playing a team that's still fighting for something, they make it so difficult. But I am going to go 2-0 for Grimsby Town. Then we have another massive game in the title run and playoff race, or playoff positioning. Stockport up against Solihull. Obviously, both teams have got difficult games on Good Friday. As I said, Stockport at Grimsby and Solihull at Wrexham. So Solihull are having to do some travelling over Easter, I must admit. Not so much against Stockport, but still, tough trip to have to make. I'm sorry, Solihull. But no, I'm not, because they could get something out of this. It's okay me saying that my side will get a point and then Solihull can't get anything. It's just Stockport at home where I don't see them dropping many points at home. If it had been at Solihull, I'd have probably fancied Solihull. But I'm going to say a 2-1 win for Stockport over Solihull on Easter Monday. You've got to fancy the title is only 2 or 3 games away, really. But Stockport are in a tough run. They've got a tough run of fixtures coming up. So I have to wait to see. Torquay up against Eastleigh. I can't see a result other than Torquay. I think they are the team that could make a late surge for the playoffs, and I do think they could. I think Lemonhay Evans has been an absolute revelation for Torquay. Scored a hat-trick last Saturday against Notts County. You've got to fancy them to make a late surge. I think they will win. I'm going to say 3-1 against Eastleigh. I think Eastleigh are going to, like I said, I think they'll just do enough. But I'm saying quite comfortable 3-1 win for Torquay on Easter Monday. We've then also got Wealdstone up against Bournemouth. This could be anything. Bournemouth are going to want a result Good Friday to stop their slide. I'm actually going to go for Wealdstone here. I think, like I said, Wealdstone are one of those that can spring a result when you don't expect it. I think Wealdstone will win 2-1 against Bournemouth. I just don't fancy Bournemouth, as simple as that, really. And Wrexham up against Altrincham. The way Wrexham can score goals, and that's why I say against Solihull, it could be anything. That's why I've gone 2-2. They've got Altrincham away. I just don't see... Sorry, they've got Altrincham at home. I apologise. Altrincham are at Wrexham. I don't see that being that difficult being at home. I fancy Wrexham to win 4-0 against Altrincham. I'm sorry, Altrincham fans. It's just the way Wrexham can knock goals in. I'm sure Altrincham will give it a good shot. And who knows, if they can make it difficult for the better sides, you never know. And then on Easter Monday, the TV game, or the evening game at least, on TV, will be Halifax up against Chesterfield. I fancy Halifax. Chesterfield, again, I think they're all in the playoffs. But just at the shade, because it's not an easy place to go to. I'm gonna say 3-2. I think there could be quite a few goals in that one. I'm gonna say 3-2 to Halifax. Watch them all be 0-0s. Now I've said that, but I think it's going to be an interesting end, an interesting Easter. I could get every result correct that I've said in this video, or I could get every result wrong. And that won't be the first time. So we'll see how it all goes. They're my predictions for Good Friday and including Easter Monday. Let me know down below what your predictions for both days are. And I will be back at some point. Before just after Easter, I will review everything on there, and I will see you guys soon. Do leave your predictions down below, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you guys. See you soon.